When most people imagine survival gear from World War II, they picture heavy canvas tents, oil-coated tarps, and stiff, waterlogged uniforms. But what if I told you that amidst all this clunky, unreliable equipment, a single fabric quietly redefined survival on every front? A material so clever, so efficient, that soldiers and pilots relied on it not just for comfort, but for life itself. Today, on WARFRONT Survival, we're uncovering the story of Ventile, the miracle cloth of World War II, and why understanding its design still gives modern survivalists an edge. By the early 1940s, Allied forces were battling more than the enemy. In the Pacific jungles, Arctic tundras, and North African deserts, nature was a relentless opponent. Canvas tents quickly became soggy and foul, tarps stiffened or cracked in the cold, and chemical waterproofing failed within weeks. Wet uniforms meant frostbite, spoiled rations, and deadly disease. Engineers knew that survival depended on staying dry, but conventional solutions were failing. For the British Royal Air Force, the challenge was urgent. Pilots could ditch in icy seas with nothing more than a life jacket, and standard flight suits left them soaked in minutes. Being wet wasn't uncomfortable. It was often fatal. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source: textile engineering. In Manchester, a team of researchers experimented with a fabric that did not rely on coatings or chemicals. Instead, they focused on the cotton itself. Using the finest Egyptian fibres and weaving them up to 400 threads per inch, they created Ventile, a fabric that behaved almost like a living organism. When dry, it was soft and flexible. When wet, the fibres swelled, tightening the weave so thoroughly that water couldn't penetrate. No wax, no rubber, no plastic layers, just pure, natural mechanics, achieving something many thought impossible. Tests proved its worth immediately. Pilots wearing Ventile survival suits could survive in freezing Atlantic waters up to 20 minutes longer than those in standard gear, a margin that could mean the difference between life and death. Ground troops quickly adopted the fabric for extreme conditions. Arctic soldiers used it for outer shells that stayed supple in sub-zero temperatures. Desert units wore lighter grades that blocked sand and wind without overheating. And jungle commandos appreciated that it resisted rot, mould and moisture without becoming heavy. One British unit even fashioned ponchos that doubled as stretchers or ground sheets, one piece of cloth serving multiple life-saving purposes. What made Ventile truly remarkable was its durability. Nylon and other early synthetics could melt, tear, or stiffen under heat or ice. Ventile resisted all of that. It didn't require retreatment like waxed canvas, and it maintained its protective qualities for years. Soldiers, explorers, and survivalists alike recognized it as more than just material. It was a reliable companion in the harshest environments. Its longevity and performance made it a cult favorite, and even decades later, elite adventurers still seek Ventile jackets for their combination of silence, toughness, and reliability, qualities that most modern synthetics still struggle to match. For modern survivalists, there are lessons to be drawn from Ventile's design. You don't need synthetic coatings to create durable, water-resistant gear. You can recreate similar principles at home using tightly woven cotton or linen. Soak the fabric in a mixture of boiled linseed oil with a touch of beeswax. Lay it flat under tension and let it cure for a few days. This produces a tough, flexible material that sheds water while remaining breathable. Alternatively, multiple thin coats of linseed oil on untreated canvas can tighten the fibres and achieve comparable results. Such techniques yield tarps, ponchos or pack covers that won't tear in the wind, won't rot in sunlight, and can last for decades when stored properly. It's durability through understanding, not chemistry. The story of Ventile isn't just about fabric. It's a lesson in ingenuity under pressure, showing how human survival instincts can drive technological breakthroughs that last far beyond their wartime origins. Ventile reminds us that sometimes the best solutions aren't about adding more. They're about rethinking what already exists and using it intelligently. For historians, it's a glimpse into the ingenuity hidden in military archives. For survivalists, it's a blueprint for long-lasting, practical and sustainable solutions. And for everyone else, it's proof that innovation doesn't always start in a lab. It often begins with observation, patience and a loom. So, the next time you pull a tarp over your gear, unzip a rain jacket or tie down a shelter in a storm, think about Ventile. Think about the pilots who trusted it with their lives over freezing seas, the soldiers who counted on it in Arctic blizzards, and the explorers who still rely on its principles today. The miracle of Ventile is not in its name, but in what it represents: human ingenuity meeting survival head-on and winning. If this deep dive into forgotten wartime innovation intrigued you, make sure to subscribe to WARFRONT Survival, like this video, and share it with a fellow history enthusiast or survivalist. Stay sharp, stay resourceful, and remember, the past is full of lessons that can save your life today.